It's time for mail! I got a bunch of mail. Not as much as last time, so it won't be crazy. I check this so rarely that I'm always worried that I don't know. I don't know what happens if you don't check. But a reminder to everybody that, you know, this P.O. Box is only open through, like, mid-January or something, because I signed up for 6 months in, like, July. So, you know, there's only so long that you can continue to send mail. So if you have something you've been burning to send me, send it soon. Anyway, let's get into this first package, which is from, it's from Indiana, from Mask. It just says Mask as the name. And it appears to contain a mask. There's a pair of, ballistic, eye goggles. So I guess I'm assuming that this is gonna tell me to go play paintball or something, because that's what this looks like. These would be for. Let me get these on real quick. Or maybe for like, maybe these are meant for if I did science. This letter is oh, there's a letter rolled up. It says looking at box. Read letter. Read letter looking at box. Wait, there's... Oh, before looking at box. Too late, buddy. Because I already saw what the box was that's inside the letter. Which is...
Don't reveal it.
Okay, fine. Okay. The letter starts off. Hey, hey, every pony. I just wanted you to read that aloud because I haven't heard it in a while. What's an injectable book that's the perfect encapsulation of hype? An epitome. Instead of epitome, epitome.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, but like it's an epic tome.
I get it.
Yeah, okay. Someone out there appreciates your Digi accent. Because I used to say epitome as epitome.
Oh, God.
Way back.
Oh, God.
Way back in the day.
No.
Someone out
I
there.
never wanted to know that about you.
I never heard it out loud.
I never wanted to.
I'd only read it.
Too much.
Alright, I'm gonna hide behind these glass goggles from all the flack I'm getting. Is the apostrophe D as Ed thing annoying? It's a stylistic choice to give my writing an older flavor, which I've kept up for years, and I think of it similarly to how you describe the Digi accent. What are your thoughts on typing quirks like this? I hadn't even noticed that you were doing that. Where even did he do that? I can't even see where you did that. Oh, wanted. He wrote wanted as want apostrophe D instead of want Ed. I don't know. It's fine with me. Spurging aside, I can't read through this yellow. Spurging aside, I've been a fan of yours since your second pony video, and have obsessively followed your content ever since. You're easily one of my favorite minds on the whole internet, especially when we don't agree. One of my own professional goals is to become your friend. Did I say spurging aside? I meant spurging intensifies. The quickest route to having the best opinion is to engage in the Darwinism of ideas, to saturate yourself in high-effort opinions that differ from your own, and adopt the ones that are better than the ones you had. It fascinates me that you didn't like Yasu Otaku videos, because those were the anime videos I was watching before I found you, and especially some of her later works I saw as a spiritual predecessor to the Season 4 Diary series, or your video on A Tale of Memories, specifically using a show as an opportunity to introduce the interesting topic that you want to discuss at the same time as the show. You know, I didn't watch that much Yasu Otaku videos, or Jesu Otaku, I don't know how you're supposed to say it. I had only seen like the very last one that they did, which was about some fan service show, and it was like a collaboration with Sage, who's also completely intolerable. Those don't look good on you. Just look back when she was wearing the plastic goggles, and they don't look right on you at all. This is the second version of this letter, since the original was sent to you in Virginia, but returned to me by the post office. Sorry about that. There was a period of about a month back in January, I think, where I had not paid it, and they just returned to send her a bunch of letters. I'm assuming that's the period where it happened, if it wasn't just like right after I closed the P.O. box. I was going to wait to send the little box, but since it will periodically get warm again out of nowhere, I figured I'd send it now. The little box this letter was wrapped around is by far the most important thing here. It's a bottle of fexofenadine, a non-drowsy antihistamine that will make you immune to the itching effects of mosquito bites for a full day starting 20 minutes after you take it? What? What the fuck? It just says allergy relief on it. It doesn't say anything about that ability. If that's true, I will be way into this, because my mosquito bites were really fucking bad throughout the whole summer this year. And I will definitely need it again, especially because next summer I'm planning to move to fucking Atlanta. I often wear tight clothes that offer no protection from mosquitoes, and while it won't stop them from drinking your Digi blood, it will circumvent the effect that makes bug bites really irritating. They don't expire for quite a while, so they should still be good in spring when it gets consistently warm. Never again will the mosquito population of Rochester plague the shins of the Hamboy Supreme. Now you can wear shorts anywhere that mosquitoes don't carry deadly or debilitating diseases. Also encloses a pair of amber glasses so that you can see the world in Jessie vision. Not really, lol. They're actually to relieve the strain on your eyes from looking at screens for long periods of time, since the lens of human eye can't focus blue light quite as clearly, and most artificial light sources have too much blue in their white balance. I know you use flux, so you're familiar with the concept. I also use flux, but still use colored glasses like this as a passive filter for the screens beside my PC, and figured you might want to do the same for long Digi and May sessions. What are your flux settings? I like 440-00K and 5600K for day. It's comfy neutral range without looking too distorted on the low end. I don't even really know. I just kind of have it set to like what it naturally is. I used to have it just on all the time. I set it to be on during the day and night. Since moving up here, I've had it on only at night because I have a huge window right behind my desk. So like the brightness of the room is usually pretty equal to the screen. And then at night it just kind of comes on its own. But I don't even know what I actually set it to. This letter is long as fuck, by the way. This is like 6 pages of like regular size type. So just know that I'm going to be reading this for a little while. As for the glasses, I don't know if I can actually like wear those while watching stuff. Screw the new update. The UI on version 3 was better. They make pro gamer glasses like the ones I sent you. Egoraptor has some, so I'm sure you know they exist. But they cost 10 times as much for a less effective product, so I got you some from the sporting section of a local store. So this is the same, the gamer glasses like that H3 made fun of, right? The gamer product line. I have multiple pairs to use depending on what range of colors I need to block or whenever I have a headache so that I can keep working or binging on shows since 3/4 of my life is looking at screens. Probably about the same for me. Lastly, I've included some cash to try and bribe you to make another video where you talk about the elements of characterization. Where is this cash? I am not seeing cash in this box. Where was I? God damn it. Especially aesthetic persona using anime examples this time, and I encourage other fans to start a pool to serve as a bounty for the video. I use the term aesthetic persona constantly in my daily life, and no one ever knows what I'm talking about unless I explain it to them. I actually typed this part on my knees. I'm literally begging you to make something about this. The 4 aspects of characterization can't stay in the pony ghetto of unlisted videos forever. It's an injustice to the media lovers everywhere. The cash is folded in a special way, as I always do, so in case I go blind, I need to use the money. I know what denominations are, and now you can too. I don't see this cash, buddy. So I think you might have failed on the cash front, unless I just lost it somehow. But in any case, the aesthetic persona thing was a really interesting concept I came up with for anyone who hasn't heard it. There's a pony video where I talk about it. It's the kind of thing where I think I can get away with describing someone as an aesthetic character without actually using the phrase aesthetic persona, and I think it works almost just as well. But I don't know. I should explain it again. Maybe do a fucking vlog about it. I just don't feel like I could do a whole video explaining it again. And I've kind of moved away from making up my own terms in videos because I hate having to re-explain it every time. Like, it used to be popular with, like, analytical YouTubers to, like, make up some new thing and then say it all the fucking time. And then, like, eventually you get to a point where you're like, actually, nobody knows what I'm talking about. So let me just simplify it and not use this weird bullshit thing I made up. But I do like the idea of the aesthetic persona. On the topic of giving you money, I've been alternating between using your Amazon affiliate link and Amazon Smile for the Electronic Frontier Foundation when I make purchases on basically anything, because it doesn't change the amount of money I spend. In case the rest of your audience doesn't know, it gives a portion of the total bill to you, even if I don't buy the specific thing you linked. It doesn't work with Smile, though, hence the alternating. Yeah, I need to fucking start. I keep forgetting I made an Amazon Associates link. I never remember to fucking mention it in the videos where it's relevant, or, like, link it. I need to remember to do that more. I haven't actually gotten any money from them yet. I'm sure once I get my first paycheck and I see that I can make money from it, I'll take it more seriously. Because I've heard it's like an amazing way to sponsor your content. So I need to start putting it in more, but thank you for using it. In addition to influencing my approach to media analysis, you've inspired my friends and me to put together our own Analysis HQ. The group is called The Arch, which makes for great acronyms like TAP for The Arch Plays, or TART for The Arch Road Trip. Not all of us want to do analysis videos, but we are currently in diaspora and are steadily moving everyone to the Archway, our name for any place we live, with the goal of collaborating on content, having great conversations, and sharing resources/costs. Do you think this model of communal living should become more popular, or do you think it's only viable for specific groups of people? Of the currently gathered members of our group, we have one person doing reviews of musicals, one person doing woodworking instructionals, a taste test channel, that's literally what it's called, for exotic candies and sodas, one that's undecided but contributes to our conversations which tend to turn into videos, and me, with plans to move in a person that wants to do philosophy videos, one that will be making filmed and edited videos out of tabletop RPG sessions. I myself am currently the most productive of us, making some analytical content, basically all of our art, some metafiction, and a lot of nonfiction edutainment in the style of CGP Grey or Vihart. I mostly write articles on WordPress and Reddit about very disparate topics, but I need to get action and go back to making videos since that's what people really care about. Of all the things I've written, the post I most want to recommend you is How to Sleep, especially the section with the subheading Mewtwo and Used Recover. And you can find a QR code that leads you there at the end of this letter. What the fuck? You have a QR code for a blog post?
That's dope.
Whoa, yeah, okay. If anybody wants to use these QR codes, I don't know if you can do this on video or if it'll like come out right, but here's some QR codes for some blog posts that this guy wrote. That's fucking super interesting. I don't even know how to use QR codes though, so link would have probably worked better. Along with the URL, oh, there is a URL, in case you don't have a QR scanner app on your phone. Much of the rest is stuff you already know. Oh, to answer your question about, like, I mean, first of all, you are way further along, it sounds like, on your Analysis HQ than we are, since none of us have actually moved into one place yet. I mean, we had briefly, but in that case, it was strange because Devu and Ben were kind of the two PCP members I had the least necessity to move in with me. Which I had planned to do stuff with them more that I didn't end up doing just because, like, basically once they were there, I realized I didn't want to do that kind of content with them. So, like, it was kind of like, it seemed like a better idea than it ultimately was. And I don't know if you guys are, like, literally living in the same house. That I definitely would advise against if any of you have different ways of life. For us, there was definitely some, like, elements of just, like, we live very differently. Not any of it that was, like, explosively contentious per se, but, like, you know, I think we're all better off living on our own in the same area. And since Ben and Devu, like, Devu, you know, while he's my editor, can, like, the amount of input I really have on his editing is pretty minimal. And Ben, I wanted to hire to do a bunch of art for me, but he is fucking slow. So I basically didn't end up using either of them for that much of anything that couldn't have been done online. You know, so unless you have a clear plan for, like, what you and these people are going to do together, then I don't think it makes as much sense. Like, Nate and I, the reason we're still pushing for PCPHQ is that both of us really want to do shows with, like, a set and, like, cameras and multi-camera setups and editing and, like, to have a crew. And I think Nate has the clearest vision of anybody of, like, what he wants to do. Like, for me, it's more of a vague sense of having people around means I can do more. With Nate, I think he knows exactly what he wants to do with those people once we get there. So, you know, having that clear idea is definitely a part of it. Having a living situation that makes sense for everybody involved. You know, some people probably don't want to leave their families behind or don't want to travel cross country with their significant other or something like that. So, you know, just depends on what works for your group. There's no smooth way to transition here. In one of the older Modal Soul Productions videos, you simulate masturbation of the chest down, thrust into your hand variety. And if that's true to life, then I should have you know that's super bad for your health and the health of your dick, as it can cause high blood pressure, mess with your sensitivity, and limit your positions in actual sex. Considering how you talk about things with you and May, that probably isn't a big issue for you, but it's worth the PSA to the audience just in case. No, I do not actually masturbate like that at all. It was a joke.
Demonstrate.
Have you not seen that video? I'll show it to you. I can't demonstrate on camera. There's no way for me to like I would, but I can't with this camera setup. But it's a very strange clip. Don't you remember the clip where it's an advertisement for Mountain Dew where I'm talking about how it makes you like chipper and like gets over a breakup? It was like right after I'd broken up with my ex.
Yeah,
and there's a part where I'm in the bed like going, like jacking off. No, I don't jack off like that. I hope nobody does. Because it's not even comfortable. The final push that made me want to go back to making videos was the pair of vlogs you made about objective good, specifically that you end with the challenge, please explain your logic, detail it all. That just now probably did a lot to sour your opinion of me, but don't tear up the letter yet. I used to see things your way, all about promoting subjectivism. But with some well-placed insight, objectivism, not the Ayn Rand kind, she's a tool, won me over. I don't think I can make you completely 180 on your position, but I do think that your worldview can be expanded to accommodate this particular aspect of mine with the proper arguments. I find it interesting that you so often use very objectivist logic, and the primary way that I explain these days actually came from a podcast you were in all the way back in the Pony days. If it helps, the biggest point to make is clarifying the balance of what I mean by objectivity, since most people claim to believe in objectivity are actually irretrievable idiots that don't know what they're talking about. Their stated beliefs are fundamentally opposed to the way they think about literally everything, and they should get off my side. I don't want to turn a fan letter into my personal soapbox, though. I have my own spaces to make this argument. Or I guess if you are interested in how someone could be so ardently subjectivist and then totally switch sides, I could write you a follow-up. I honestly would have to hear what your definition is of objectivity before I even say whether I disagree with it or not, or whether or not I think what you're talking about is in fact objectivity. On the subject of responses to things you said months ago, I disagree with your thoughts on deep shows, specifically about the word depth. If you watch enough stereotypically deep shows, it's easy to get really bored of exploring the same handful of philosophical concepts. This much is true, but I don't think it's fair to reduce the word deep to exclusively refer to those shows. I think of depth closer to the way it's used to refer to game mechanics as per Extra Credits episode Depth versus Complexity. Are you sensing a pattern yet? My posts tend to come with a bibliography. For non-participatory media, the depth is the ideas packed into it that it plays with, speaks to, etc. They have more character-based, event-based, or thematic points of contact for your mind to grapple onto. There's some give and take here, of course. A work can appear deeper to you depending on what context you have, but sometimes that depth is something you're bringing to the work rather than something that's intrinsic to the piece. You once said of a certain show, and I still agree with this, that it's infinitely deep. The more analytical work you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. The problem is that a vocal majority of people are morons and have decided that only a narrow range of ideas get to carry the label deep. A more recent example of a show being deep without saying anything I haven't thought about before would be Steven Universe. And some less relevant examples off the top of my head are Scrubs and Nana. That's a very interesting group of shows to say the same thing about. While the overall rule of thumb for me is more depth equals more enjoyment, that's not always the case. Azumanga Daioh isn't super deep, but it doesn't need depth to be fun and enjoyable. Still, one of the big reasons I watch so much anime is that the average depth it reaches exceeds that of the average in other popular media, like the doldrums trash that is most American live action broadcast television. As a takeoff from this, I think the phrase too deep for me means that a show has a lot to say or is exploring things that the speaker just doesn't understand, and because of that, the rest of it just becomes noise that's too hard to engage with to put the effort in. The fact that the core premise of your perspective is so different than mine is one of the most attractive things about your content to me. Your interaction with something being so personal to your own experience, like you describe in your Lucky Star video, is pretty much the opposite of me, as I usually try to get as far away from my own perspective as possible when I watch something. I prefer to let a work set its own context, and I want how I look at things to be as far outside of the same old song and be alien as possible. Things like my personal history, nationality, or biology are things I try to eliminate from how I look at things because they aren't really about me so much as they are things that were done to me. My eye color isn't really a part of my personality. In my online presence, I try to keep stuff like that totally removed, so I never talk about where I'm from, my gender, orientation, age, etc. Facts like those become a filter for how people interact with your ideas, importing the viewer's baggage to otherwise some of what you're saying and outright ignoring other things. I want to stop that for a second because that's really interesting, and I totally agree with that fact. And it's kind of a big problem for me, like, trying to create stuff online, because people come into everything I make with the preconception that this is Digibro saying this. And it means that when I represent things that might be from, like, a different kind of angle from what I usually do, then, like, it confuses people, and they have to, like, try to reconcile it against things I've done before. You know, not even that it's, like, that they're contradictory so much as that the angle of approach is different. For instance, to use a very broad example, like my rap music versus my YouTube videos, you know, like, there's a lot of people who watch, like, my main channel, and, like, their perception of me is, like, analytical guy who talks about anime, and so when they hear me rap and it's like talking about beating up the pussy with the dick and fucking getting mad money and smoking lots of weed, then they're like, this just, like, it doesn't compute, you know, like, they can't process, even though they might listen to that kind of music from somebody else. Thinking of it as Digibro doing that is difficult, you know. And there's a lot of stuff that, like, I think of that I, like, want to tweet or that I want to create, and, like, just knowing that people will not get it on my Twitter is why I don't, you know. Sometimes I have made tweet my jokes for me. Very occasionally. I think it's only happened a couple times.
I always credit you. I always say from Digibro.
Yeah.
My tweets that do not say from Digibro are legit.
Are all legit.
They're my thoughts. I don't want you to think that
no.
I'm not a genius.
But yeah, I just feel like I've often fantasized about and possibly planned to start making alt accounts and not telling anyone about them, and, like, trying to make them survive on their own, just so people won't like think of it as something Digibro did, you know. Even if that becomes obvious in some way, and like, you know, some people will get it because some people know enough about my personality that they get all the different facets. But anyway, where the hell was I? I talk more about this in my article, I Am Not Made of Meat. No one even has the opportunity to tell me I shouldn't say something because I'm not a part of the group it applies to. That's why this letter isn't handwritten, by the way. I don't want anyone to make assumptions about my gender from my handwriting. The large print is just an attempt to be easy to read. Normally I want people to be like me, but in your case, even if I could go back in time and try to talk you into it, I wouldn't. You use your context and background to enrich the experience of your perspective, and I wouldn't trade that away. And yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, I kind of want to trade it away, but only to some extent. Like, if I wrote a story that is for instance, from a female perspective, and I publish it as myself, as a guy, I'm gonna get some people who respond like, how can you write a female character when you're a guy? You know? And, like, I'd rather people just didn't think about that. I want them to divorce who wrote it from what it is, and then they can make a judgment based on that, on what gender they think wrote the story. Like, I mean, I'm reading this, and I'm assuming you're a guy just because I think your writing style sounds incredibly male, but I could be totally wrong about that, you know? Some people are less obvious in their writing gender style. That base principle of trying to get away from my own perspective is something I've done for most of my life, since I was a tiny child. I try to evaluate something as though I were a third-party observer, then look at my own thoughts as though I were an observer to them, and so on recursively, trying to come up with every perspective I can have. If I embrace a specific position on something, it's after a process like that, because the most useful and most interesting thought is rarely the initial reaction. Large fractions of the population tend to have the same first impressions, which is why if you say something on Twitter, you get the same joke or comment from 30 people. That method kept me from identifying too closely with my beliefs when I was small. Your thoughts should be like possessions rather than your identity. Otherwise, trying to show you something new looks like a personal attack. I really appreciate that you aren't like that, and by a different method. If a way to be is really good, I think different paths will often converge on it. I totally do, yeah, I do something very similar. I tend to not cling to one identity of thought. It's more like, yeah, like possessions, like you said, something you can get rid of. Totally feel that way. This is an interesting letter in some ways. It's probably clear why I didn't include my entire life story in this letter like some of your other fans have. The adorable autists. I hope this was interesting, despite it basically being what I would have left in the comments on YouTube or Reddit. It's not exactly media analysis, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on the articles of mine that I'd linked to you. Also, there's a link to the one video of mine that's still up. The rest were lost in the blipocalypse. But as, God, how old were your videos? Blip died years ago. But as a warning, it was made forever ago and it's about math. Hopefully in a fun way. The voice is one of the other archers, and it was made before we knew anything about audio processing. Some closing notes. I'm recently watched Ava because of how much you've talked about it and what you said. I was one of the crazy people on Twitter that was part of a speed watch, view on 1.5x speed, twice back to back. I consume basically all of my media this way except music, and while you think it might ruin the timing, as soon as you get used to the pace, it isn't any different from watching something normally. Your expectation of timing is much faster, so a long cut of a dramatic pause is still just as effective. Before this year, I didn't like Ava for philosophical reasons and its stance on psychology, but that was several versions of me ago, and a lot of time has passed. While thematically it doesn't strike me particularly hard, it often tries to push buttons that I don't really have, I understand the appeal now and still enjoy it greatly for all the other reasons like animation and character development. Thanks for giving me the push to watch this classic. Have you ever seen the cartoon Aeon Flux? It's a personal favorite. I have not seen Aeon Flux. May and I were joking about it recently because she was calling Elon Musk Aeon Flux. I want to watch it. I'm very interested in it. I'm so glad there's someone else in the world that still makes Kajito-kun references in daily life. Whenever someone says, "What the heck are those?" I cherish the moment that I can respond with ninja info cards. With my ninja info cards. The Google text-to-speech voice we called the Google Girl, then the Goo Gal, then just Goodra. Now we refer to checking something online as asking Goodra. Goodra! Goodra! That's what it says.
Amazing.
That's exactly. I know he wrote it so I would write it that way. I remember you once saying, "How do you know plants don't feel pain?" Many plants when injured will release a chemical signal that warns other plants to brace for impact, that they might have their leaves eaten, to prepare their immune systems for repair, and to move valuable resources away from their extremities so that the losses aren't too great. Some of these signals are also to summon predators like wolves to come eat whatever animal is eating them as their only means of defense. Wow, I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's fucking crazy.
That smell when you cut the grass is the silent screams of your lawn crying for help and warning others of the danger. Yeah, I know. People, this is why fucking vegetarians who are like, I don't believe in killing animals. I'm like, you cut your grass all the time, dude. Just saying. The Japanese title of To Kill a Mockingbird is Alabama Monogatari. Thought you'd want to know that.
Yes.
That's pretty... I didn't even know it was set in Alabama. Are you afraid of becoming stuck in your ways when you get old? If so, how do you plan to combat this? Oh boy. I don't know if I'm afraid of getting stuck in my ways. I'm more afraid of doing that now. Like, right now, I'm afraid of doing the same thing too much, which is why I'm constantly, like, thinking of how to change things. Like, we're planning to move away at some point. We've got all kinds of plans to, like, go on adventures. Like, eventually, if things get too stagnant, we'll have kids, you know? And then kids, you can't get stagnant with kids because you gotta fucking constantly raise them. Like, they're always changing and evolving and growing, and you gotta constantly change and evolve and grow with them. And then once the kids are gone, then you're old, and then I don't give a fuck if I get set in my ways because I'm fucking old. If I'm old, I'm not gonna give a fuck about anything. I'm just gonna drink like tons of gin and like scream at people. Probably move out to the country and buy a bunch of guns. Next time you go out to eat, get something you always get and try to come at it with fresh eyes. Taste it like it's the first time, with full attention. I find it's easier to do this if you have to describe the taste and texture of it, and often the experience changes from bite to bite. It's hard to do and something your brain actively resists doing most of the time. Most things, from smells to taste to colors, aren't really seen like new. They're just a lazy brain looking at memories and expectations to render the experience without having to process your senses. If nothing else I have for you is worth your while, I hope this makes an impact. I actually do that. I already do that. I actually do actively eat stuff I've eaten before and try to experience it like newly so that I can try and judge whether it's actually as good as I think it is. And I do that a lot, actually. Anyway, that's it for that fucking long-ass letter. I'm gonna cut this clip. Alright, next we got a soft package from Garner in Texas. Pearland, Texas. There's a place apparently called Pearland, Texas. We got some kind of a outfit here. Wait, did the flash drive just fall out? Okay. There's a little purple flash drive in here, as well as some clothes wrapped up with a letter. Let's check the letter first. This one's nice and short and pretty. It's got some design on it. What's up, Digi? Longtime fan and short-time patron here. I'm that guy that kept pestering you about your shirt size. The reason I asked is that I wanted to send you these dope-ass Fooly Cooly and Nujabes t-shirts I printed, because I figured if anyone would appreciate them as much as I do, it would be you. They were printed with a legit silk screen with photo emulation and all that shit, so they'll survive being washed. Anyway, I just wanted to say that there are very few people I relate to as much as you. After Dark is my favorite YouTube channel, and you should keep doing the good work. Included with the shirts is a flash drive containing the entire discography of Japanese post-rock band Condor 44. I have literally never heard anyone talk about this band on the internet beyond a few old-ass blogspot posts, and I think you'll really like their music. I recommend starting with the song Faint Shine, Nikkei version, on the album Goodbye 44th Music. It's a goddamn banger. I'd love to see your reaction to this video, as Condor 44 is one of my favorite bands of all time, so yeah, wear the shirt in good faith. If I ever see you wear them in a video, I can die happy and enjoy the music. P.S. This was written on a typewriter, so that's why there are so many errors, because he's literally gone over certain words and corrected them. Mostly different spellings of there that he got wrong, apparently. Or they'll. Fucking cool. I want to say I've heard the name Condor 44 before, but I've never heard their music. And I like Japanese post-rock, though, so I'm curious to check it out. But these shirts, though. Alright, first we've got... Oh, fuck
That's
yeah.
sick.
We've got Fooly Cooly with the Never Knows Best. This is already, like, I already love this shirt. It does seem a little big. What size did I tell you I was? It says extra large. It looks like a double XL, though. Let's try it on.
Ooh.
Okay, it fits all right. It's just like it's a little bit big, but not much. I think this will actually, after one wash, it'll feel great. But this is a pretty good shirt. I dig
the colors on you.
I fucking dig the Never Knows Best cigarette being on there. Let's try the other one. Oh man, we've got a Rest in Peace to Nujabes shirt. Lifespan on there. Repping the R.I.P. Nujabes. He's a great. Thank you for all that stuff. Let's go to the next one.
Just do the rest of it with your shirt off.
No way. Too distracting. We've got a little letter that says, "Don't say last name." I almost showed the other side, which had the last name on it. This is from Texas, from a... I actually can't read your first name. Zoe? Zay? I think it's Z-A-E. Zay? Let's check it out. Okay, there's like several pieces of paper and tiny trinkets in here. I don't know where to start. I want to know what this is. I do not know. It looks like a piece of... Oh, wait. Oh, there's a hard drive. It's a flash drive. Just a very bizarre... It looks like it's meant to be linked into other ones. Like you're meant to create a chain of flash drives or something. And then there's also like a keychain with like some hippie stuff on it. So, yeah, I got a hippie keychain as well. Let's find these letters. Hey Digi Bro, I'm a 15-year-old girl and I really enjoy your videos, even though I haven't watched anime as much since I was 13. I now mostly watch your After Dark videos, and I saw that you made one about the few comics that you read, and thought that you should check out this completed webcomic called It Hurts by Gobula Tula. I would like to hear what you think of it so far. Anyway, I don't really have a current 3x3 of my favorite anime shows right now, but here's one of what 9 to 10 year old me used to love to watch. Oh yeah, I'm sucking at school right now. Papers are starting to pile a bit, including a history essay right now, and was wondering if you could give some advice for dealing with this and not feel overwhelmed. Also, I took samples of your voice and put it into a program called Utao, which means to sing in Japanese. I think you can interpret the rest when you look in the flash drive. And here's a keychain for May if she wants it or not. You can throw it away in the trash or out into the ocean. Sorry about the rust, you can throw it away. So I guess this is for you. Here, have some hippie keychain stuff.
Awesome, thank you.
I'll
treasure it forever.
And then there's also like this like, I don't know what this is. It's just an empty like card with a symbol on it. Don't know what that's about, but it was in there. And here we got the 3x3. Oh, this is exactly the shit I was watching at the same time. Actually, this is kind of interesting. So we've got Revolutionary Girl Utena, Lucky Star, a Little Snow Fairy Sugar, Powerpuff Girls Z, Panty Pony Dash, Sailor Moon, Azumanga Daioh, oh god, what is this? Is this Magical Pretty Sammy? Something like that. And Cardcaptor Sakura. This is interesting to me because it's a mixture of like shows that are actually for girls and then shows that just mostly feature girls. This reminds me of your tastes, May. Like,
yeah.
You've once said to me that you like shows about cute girls because you are a cute girl. And I get that vibe out of this. Like, it's just a bunch of shows about cute girls, regardless of whether they're actually aimed at girls or guys. But I'll check out whatever's on this flash drive and edit that in here. Okay, so what this appears to be is that this person has taken a bunch of like Hatsune Miku or other like Vocaloid songs and made my voice into a Vocaloid. There's also a request for me to say all these sounds that I guess I've never said in a video that are needed for doing that. So we'll say them. Kya, ki, kyu, kye, kyo, gya, gi, gyu, ge, gyo, sha, shu, she, sho, cha, chu, che, cho, nya, ni, nyu, nye, nyo, hya, hi, hyu, hye, hyo, bya, byi, byu, bye, byo, pya, pi, pyu, pye, pyo, mia, mi, mew, mia, meow, and ria, dia, 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 di, diu, that. Yeah, yo, god damn. Hopefully those are usable. Alright, let's see what this is exactly. Which one do I want? Well, I know World Is Mine, so I'm gonna play that one. This is the best thing I've ever seen, by the way. I kinda know the words to this. Hold on. I'm gonna do it. 世界で一番の姫様そのついてね I don't know enough of the words 足を誰だって覚えてるなだか甘いもの食べたいI don't even want to know how much effort there's like 10 of these. Oh, what is The World Is Mine is the only one I actually know the song. That's a pretty cool song. So I'm assuming the way that this is made is that they put together a voice pack of my voice, like just sampled a bunch of sounds of me saying stuff and then like ran it through, you know, Vocaloid and just like ran the map of these songs. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like the beat map or whatever the fuck you would call it. Pretty fucking cool. Thank you for that. I'll definitely watch all of these and show them to May when she gets home. Oh, wait, I have to give advice about school. As for advice about school, I'm really the wrong person to ask because I did miserably bad in high school, and I generally don't respect school and don't take it seriously at all. So my advice would be just relax and do whatever the fuck you want. And if you're someone who knows what your future's gonna be, and you like want to go to college and get like a fucking like you want to become a doctor or some shit, then like try to do good in school and like go to college or something and be a doctor. But if you don't know what the fuck you want to do with your future, don't take high school seriously.
Don't listen to him. You should do your homework.
Get your diploma.
Do your homework.
Yeah, skate by with like D's, get a diploma, and get a regular job. And I don't know, make I don't know. What do you want to do? It really depends. I can't take school seriously. I wanted to drop out when I was your age, so I have no good advice. Next, we've got something from Square Jellyfish in Kentucky. I don't know if that's a person name or a name of a... Well, it's an Amazon bag, so I guess the person is Square Jellyfish. And this is just... Huh. Oh, cool. It's just a little camera mount that also has a boom mic mount on top of it. So you can like... It's basically the same thing as the mount I'm using right now, except that it also has a screw on top of it so you can screw a microphone on and like expand on it. That's pretty neat. If this is compatible with this GorillaPod, then I'm immediately going to replace the one I'm using because it's on its last legs. I wonder if you sent this as a result of my office videos where I talked about how I needed to replace that part. If so, then thank you a ton, because this seems like it will be helpful. Yeah, it's basically just got the same screw on the top and bottom as opposed to just on the bottom. Very clever of this company to think of that. Like, I can't believe it took this long. This also feels fucking strong. This is better than what I'm used to, so thank you. Alright, we got one last package from Christian in North Carolina. This one's a little heavier. Oh, it's full of anime magazines. Yeah. Oh boy. Okay. Oh, this looks like a bunch of new types. Fuck yeah. Handwritten letter. Hey, what's up, Digi bro? I remember when you opened up your P.O. box, I thought I could have sent you those magazines I've had lying around. So here I am over a year later. I also wanted to thank you for giving me hundreds of hours of thoughtful and interesting content. I feel like your channel structure and work ethic inspire the way I work and go about YouTube. I hope you don't already have these magazines. Anyway, you that boy! Keep up all those dank videos. You should make alcohol on Sundays but smoke weed. I'll patron you if you do. That's not a bad idea. I meant to bring back alcohol on Sundays after the first meta hole. Like, it was supposed to be reintroducing it. I just literally forgot. And I haven't been drinking as much alcohol lately because I've been smoking so much weed. But albums you should check out. Meets Infinity. Oliver Francis, A Million Miles an Hour. I do listen to Oliver Francis. I'm a huge fan of his new album. Caravan Palace's Robot Face. Sid Matters' Someday We Will Foresee Obstacle. Purity Rings Another Eternity. I know some of my friends were into Purity Ring, I think, and Braids Deep in the Iris. Never heard of most of those, but I'll check them out. My something for my channel is that you don't have to read on camera if you don't want to. Oh, it's just like, here's his, I guess this is his channel names or something? I'm not sure, but check that out. Check him out. Here we've got, oh god. Here we've got a 3x3 of me. Of his top 9 favorite me's. So we've got, I'll give it to you after I read them off. We've got me drinking a beer at what looks like the start of probably my shit-talking anime YouTubers rant. I think that looks about right. There's me shaving during the big shave. There's Hentai Samurai, which I don't even know why that's in there because it's not me. Hentai Samurai is my friend. He's not me. Here's me looking like a fucking doofus in what looks like probably the Lucky Star video. I think it's either that or the other one I did in that position on After Dark. There's me with a mask and hat, which is from a mailbag. Me with the gun from Sword Art Online 2 announcement videos. Me injecting injecting weeds into my bloodstream in the Metal Hole 2. There's me in Otaku Workout Training, which is a great fucking shot. And me as the ultimate final form of clusterpunk, which was from Twitter on Christmas last year, I think. Why did my screen just go dark? Is my battery dying? My battery's dying. Okay, I gotta finish this up soon. Here, you can have that. We've got a 3x3 for video games, which has Final Fantasy X, Kingdom Hearts 2, Mass Effect 2, Resident Evil 4, fucking goddamn Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow Hearts, Pokemon Go, but I can't tell what that first one is. It looks like Killzone or something. I'm not sure. And then a 3x3 of anime, which has Soul Eater. What the fuck is the second one? Is that... I don't even know what the second one is. I think it might be Kids on the Slope or something. I literally don't know what that is. Hyoka? No. The fuck is it? I don't even know. Welcome to the NHK, Spirited Away, Dragon Ball Z, Noragami, Angel Beats, Full Metal Alchemist, and Shaman King. You know, as like basic as this taste is, these are all pretty good. I mean, other than this one, I don't even know what it is. They're all fine shows. Do not begrudge anyone having any of those on their 3x3. Oh, there's also a big Gurren Lagann poster in here. We got a fucking sexy Yoko.
Yes.
I think I used to have this. I think I used to have this poster somewhere, and I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, there's a big sexy Yoko poster in there. At least I've seen it before. And then we've also got, oh, is this a sexy Ava fucking poster? We've got Ray on one side, and then on the other side is there's also a Ray getting out of the water centerfold. I don't know which one I'd put up. I feel like the two lengthwise ones I could find a place for somewhere. Maybe not in this office, but maybe in the bedroom. Oh, we've also got a Full Metal Panic one. Not very sexy, but it's just the girl from Full Metal Panic. She's cool. I like that show. Haven't seen it in 10 years. Oh, is this one gonna be Fujiko? Oh, fuck. Well, okay. This is Fujiko, but she's in, like, 3D. It's like a 3D Fujiko. I don't know why it's 3D. I don't know what possible Lupin thing came out that had 3D like that. Where did all these come from? This one's of the Guyver. The fucking Guyver.
Guyver.
But the 2005 TV show version. Here, baby, you can have the Guyver.
Oh, yes.
We watched Guy. By the way, anybody who doesn't know, May and I now do commentary videos on random anime movies when we're baked, and we post them just on Patreon. And we did one of the Guyver, the original OVA. Oh, it's Go Danner. Also a show we've only seen the first episode of this together, but
her butt's beautiful. Look at
yeah,
that butt.
That butt is fucking amazing. This is really good. I like this poster a lot.
That poster.
I will definitely put that up. And we gotta watch the rest of Go Danner.
We do.
And then we got some new types. This is definitely early new type magazine because it's heavy as fuck. I really wanted more of these. They've all got Ava on them. I think I have this one, but these two are new. So yeah, very excited about those. I'll definitely read them. And Thanks everybody for everything you said. Bye!